All right, and we're live. Welcome all. Thanks for joining us for this Pocket Bard live stream. I'm Chase. I'll be your dungeon master this evening. Today, we are starting our mini-series playing through Warriors of Sehanine, a D&D 5th edition module by Florian Emmerich, JVC Perry, and Ashley Warren. I've adapted this adventure to take place in the Exandria campaign setting, Critical Role. And so I'm looking forward to this. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Before we get started, shout outs at the top. Really today, the only shout out I have is to Zach, who made our gorgeous overlays, who you will meet in a moment as we are playing the game. Next week, I'll have a couple more shout outs. With that, let's go ahead and introduce our players. Bring everybody in here. Hello, players. Welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for being here. We'll go around one by one. Just say your name. We'll get to characters in a second. Say your name, who you are. If you have a place you want to point people to find you, you can do that. But yeah, Alex, we'll start with you.
Hey, I'm Alex. I'm the composer and do a whole bunch of other stuff with Pocket Bard here. And you can find me at Pocket Bard app on all our social media. I have too much time spent doing all the company stuff, so all mine is lagging.
He's being humble. He's got a 3-letter title at Pocket Bard. Yeah, that starts with C.
Yeah.
Cool. Dom, you're up next.
Hey, I'm Dom. I'm our community manager, so I handle all of our Discord integration and everything else. You can find me at DTREKT on Twitch. I'm sadly not live now, but I'm live here.
Sweet. All right. Zach, you're up next. I mentioned your name already.
Yes. Hello. My name is Zach. I'm the guy that made this overlay as well as the sci-fi overlay. I've done a couple of things for Pocket Bard, but most of the time I'm the lead moderator over here on our Discord. But yeah, you can find me at Zach is a Nerd on pretty much every social media. So yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. Next up, Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I do the social media management and the Discord, some community management here at Pocket Bard. And that's me. Again, I'm just like Alex. I spend so much time doing Pocket Bard stuff that you can find me on Pocket Bard. So please go ahead and check out our link tree. It's got everything you need to find us. It's as simple as that link dot whatever the tree thing is, and then Pocket Bard.
All right.
Real quick, real simple.
And thanks for being here, Jen. And last but not least, Leroy.
Hey, I'm Leroy. I'm a composer here at Pocket Bard. I'm also CEO for Let's Roll Press.
Woo!
But our website's down, so you can find us there later when we publish the website. And yeah.
Oh man, so many. This is the most CEOs that I've ever DM'd. So your titles have no power here. I'm in charge. That being said, I think that's everything we want to cover before we jump into episode 1 of Warriors of Sehanine. So without further ado, let's go ahead and change up the music briefly. I should have been doing that while you were talking. Let's get started. So,
Town.
Session 1, indeed. We begin this adventure in a temperate region of the world of Exandria. On the continent of Wildmount, the western portion of the region of Wynandir is dominated by the Dwendalian Empire. In the current year, 853 post-divergence to be exact, the Empire is on the brink of conflict with the Kryn dynasty, its neighbor and rival to the east. Citizens, awash with a mix of tension and optimism, share a common sentiment. A righteous war on the horizon is still a war. Our focus today, however, brings us to the capital city of Rexentrum. As we look across the landscape, a bird arcs through the sky over a bustling metropolis built atop rolling hills. Below, guards patrol cobblestone streets with traders hawking wares. Swooping from district to district, we see a dizzying array of smells and sounds as various shops and markets serve travelers, politicians, tourists, laborers, criminals, all one in this city. Soaring south, beyond city walls, where residential construction has started to spill out over past their protection, we find our first group of travelers. Weary, after more than a month of travel, starting in the subterranean helical city of Uthadern, traveling through the Flotket Alps, across the Crystal Sands tundra, aboard a ship through the frigid depths, Icehaven, Erosa, the Amber Crossroads, finally arriving here at the southern gates to this metropolis. We meet a band of 3 unlikely friends, allies, standing in a short line outside the southern gates of Rexentrum. Here we will go ahead and introduce a couple of these characters, starting with Alex. Could you tell us your character's name, race, and how they look, clothing, expression, as you are approaching the city after all this travel?
My character is Grandel the Gruff. He's a dwarven barbarian who's about 170, 180 years old. So maybe like 80-ish, 75. Like he's a young 180 though. He's got kind of a burly mustache. He's a dwarf, so he's like pretty average size for a dwarf. I don't know, maybe a little under 4 feet. He's got a burly mustache and what we would call in our universe a Karen cut. So he's kind of got a bob of a gray hair, very straight. And he is very excited all the time. And he's got a notebook that he carries with him at all times, that he's just kind of always scribbling in, and like his father before him, most of the writing is illegible to everyone else.
Incredible. So we see Grandel the Gruff, this dwarven barbarian, sauntering up to the gates, followed close behind by, if you can believe it, a creature even smaller, a fairy. Zach, could you please introduce us to your character?
Yeah. So you see a 3'1" little guy. His name is Almond Tumblesprite. He's a fairy, so he's got some pretty cool kind of like butterfly, opaque, pearlescent wings. He's kind of got elegant, kind of foresty purple, I don't really know how to describe it, armor on. But he's kind of sticking pretty close to Grendel the Gruff. He's kind of seeing him as a mentor to kind of like, as he's taking notes, I think Almond is kind of following close behind, also taking a little bit of notes. But yeah, he kind of has like this awestruck kind of view on everything at the moment. He's seeing everything here for the first time, kind of taking everything in. But yeah, he's kind of speechless as he's walking up to the gates and stuff. So yeah.
Even in your short time in this world, you've traveled a lot already in the last month, and this is by far the biggest city that you've seen ever.
Yeah, he's a little bit starstruck at the moment.
The third member of our group, rounding out this trio, Dom, could you please introduce your character?
So kind of lagging behind, acting directly the opposite of Almond. You'll see a fallen Asimar. He's about 6'3", very dark and brooding persona. He's trying to act as if he were unimpressed, but you can tell that he's pretty awestruck as well. But he's tough. He's trying to hide it a little bit. And his name is Uvril Tomer.
Uvril, Grandel, and Almond approach the gates to enter the city. Upon entry, there's a bit of a checkpoint, a couple of guards standing around, and as you kind of pass into this checkpoint, a friendly but clearly bored Crown's guard kind of starts to look over Grandel's paperwork. Not your first time here. Welcome back, sir. Continues to read. Uthadern. Long way. Haven't been up there. Nice weather.
Weather underground?
All right.
Oh, you must
as
be
I
talking
said-
about the sandstorms. When the rocks come up and start rolling and rolling down with the gravity.
Right. Haven't heard of... Well, hey, as I said, haven't been there. And as he kind of does this little small talk with you as he's looking over your paperwork, to your left, another guard, much older and kind of a larger built half-elf by the look of it, kind of looks at the trio and looks at Almond. Don't get many of you lot through here. What's a fairy doing in our neck of the woods?
I'm just kind of traveling around, getting some new experiences in life, you know. I'm on a quest per se from my home world, so just kind of doing my thing, you know. Just trying to put on a friendly face for us.
He, like, you can see as soon as you say the word quest, he like deflates a little bit more and is like, they're always on a quest, all right? Okay, keep track of your fairy, old man. Could get lost or stepped on. And he kind of like elbows the guard next to him, who just like not amused. And he says to Uvril, you're with the old man as well, eh? Have you got papers?
I think I had them somewhere, but you didn't need to see those, did you?
A refugee, got it. As long as you follow the laws, you'll be all right. And he points to a posted sign outlined with like a fluorescent green paint, listing like a dozen or so local laws and customs. And like looking beyond the gate, you can see copies of this sign kind of conspicuously placed on your way into the city. The first guard stamps Grandel's paper, folds it up and hands it back, and kind of addresses the three of you as a group. And where will you lot be staying should authorities need to get a hold of you while you're here?
Almond's just gonna look at Grendel, just kind of confused, like, I didn't know that authorities would be needing us.
Just a precaution, eh?
Uvril's gonna act like he didn't hear what the guard asked.
Grandel's just kind of like flipping through his notebook, trying to figure out.
I will
I
say,
think you wrote it down on page 4,
written-
something like that, I think.
written in your notebook, you have the address of the Brinsworth Manor, to your friend's abode that you know of. Well, your family friends that you know of in the city.
Is this? Would I know? Is this guard like a New York City taxi driver where he like just knows any address that you tell him, or would like he would know?
It's-
Oh, that's the Brinsworth Manor, or no?
It's a little more like TSA agent vibe, and you get the sense that like if you were to point out an exact address, he might be able to like generally know where you're talking about, but he's gonna write this information down.
So Grandel's not really used to this kind of direct confrontation. Being a geology professor for the past 120 years, he's used to being kind of in the position of authority over students. So he's not really exactly sure what to do with this, and kind of just retreats into like flipping through his notebook, like that kind of thing where you're just looking for something to do to bide time while you try to figure out what to do or say.
In that case, looking like you don't actually have a place to stay, you see he like opens up a little page next to him, traces his finger down, says, he gives you the name of like one of the local inns, and says that you've been assigned to stay there, regardless of the fact that you obviously have other places to be. Writes that next to your names and shoos you into the city.
Grandel does kind of one of those just nods, the awkward nods to him as they pass, and the
Almond is
awkward body language.
100%. Almond is 100% going to kind of like run up to him and give him like or he's gonna reach out for a firm handshake and say like, "Thank you so much, sir. You have a great rest of your day."
The guard kind of looks at your like tiny hand, and very slowly like reaches up to grab it, not sure what's gonna happen, and shakes it. All right, you have a good day yourself, little fairy.
Thank you, sir. And he's gonna scamper on off to where Grandel is.
All right.
Uvrel's gonna kind of run behind them, and once we get slightly out of earshot, he's gonna go, "You're such an ass kiss."
I mean, I'm just trying to be nice, man. I mean, just I don't know. Everyone could use a little bit of goodness in their day, right?
You could see it in Uvrel's face. You see like a slight smirk, as you could tell he's very kidding.
And then Grandel kind of butts in. Isn't it incredible that they always build outside their homes up? In Uthadern, we build them down. It's just...
It doesn't really make too much sense if you ask me, but I'm down to learn.
It's not very efficient with gravity.
Right?
There's no floating buildings here.
For the three of you, you're right. All three of you have never experienced like this exact kind of architecture at home. Even, Almond in the Feywild, like the constructions there have so much nature built into them. We're talking about like tree houses that are literally the hollowed interiors of trees, and as Alex said, in Uthadern, building down and kind of working the buildings into the rock as it was carved under. This is certainly foreign architecture for all of you. All right. From there, we are going to zoom out once again and transition all the way to a different district, nestled between slightly larger, kind of gaudier houses is a beautifully constructed stone manor house, just at the edge of one of the higher class neighborhoods, sort of closer to the center of the city. This home, with its iron gates and vaulted arches covering garden walkways, doesn't see a lot of activity in and out, save for the dozen or so staff that attend it and keep the greenery green, keep the windows polished. Its part-time resident owners are a well-known family in the area, the Brinsworth family, and this is, while not their primary residence, because we are in the capital of the Dwendalian Empire, it is of utmost importance to maintain a bit of a presence in these areas. At the moment, one of the smokestacks billows a steady stream of bluish-gray smoke originating down on the second floor, a study occupied at the moment by a single half-orc. Leroy, if you could go ahead and introduce us to your character.
Yeah, I am playing Charles Brinsworth. I am a half-orc battle master, obviously of the Brinsworth family. I was essentially found out in the wild and adopted by the Brinsworth family. Brinsworth is all about second chances and sort of like throwing chaos into the political landscape. I am about 26 or so. Got lots of just noble sort of stuff on, hand, crossbow, and a rapier, and just an ever stoic look on my face.
Currently, you've been in town for the past few months to participate in some high social status, political, social activities, and to represent the Brinsworth family in an upcoming competition of sorts that might determine the next class of knights for the crown. That, however, is not for a couple of weeks, and at the moment, a knock at the door interrupts your thought.
I have a tea in my hand and it just jostles. Yes, come in.
The huge oak doors kind of crack. One of them opens, and the tousled hair of Matthias, one of your staff, an aging halfling with a slight limp, kind of pokes in. I don't mean to disturb you, sire. It seems you have visitors.
What kind of visitors at this hour?
One Grandel the Gruff and party have arrived seeking audience.
Of course.
They insist a letter was sent, but I don't recall any letter or any... shall I send them up?
Send them right up. Skip the pleasantries. Straight up here, bring more tea. Do the usual, please.
Indeed. And he kind of backs out. And, different people in your family have different expectations for the staff that they hire. And Matthias is one that, regardless of whoever, whatever kind of new things have been introduced, he is part of the old ways of things. And, whether you or others have asked him to, lighten up or not treat you so formally, he has never done that, and he has always been kind of stuck in that way. So as he backs out, you literally watch his head kind of bow and back out the door as it closes.
I kind of roll my eyes and I start kind of just staring blissfully out the windows. I'm just continuing to sip my tea, wipe some little specks of it off.
Excellent. He brings up this party. You see Grandel the Gruff, who, whether you've met in person before, you at the very least definitely know of through the history of his kind of consulting that he's done for your family on construction projects and land evaluations, and really anything that a noble family would need a geologist for. But curiously, behind him, while not sure what your expectations were, maybe you tell me how it strikes you seeing this Azamar and Fairy follow him into the room and go from there.
I have a very just inquisitive nature. Was learned young to always be trying to learn, and so I'm kind of excited. Like I know what Grandel's all about for the most part, but yeah, I'm excited to see Grandel, but I'm now more excited to see like the party he's keeping.
Grandel and Almond and Uvril, as you walk in, the smell of old books and a burning fireplace meets you. This very cozy study room. The sounds of the city almost seem to be dampened in here. You see windows overlooking a garden, and above them kind of stained glass that glows in the afternoon sun. A desk filled with papers, bookshelves lining the walls. Near the desk, 2 guest chairs, and a few other positioned at the edge of the room. And as you all kind of move in to sit, Matthias attempts to fetch a 3rd chair and is kind of looking at Almond. Are you flying or walking at this point?
I would say Almond is going to kind of walk into the room and then kind of flutter his wings a little bit and kind of hover off the ground like a foot or two to kind of get like an overall kind of view, just a little bit more of the, normal height kind of thing. But
yeah, as you flutter off the ground and start to kind of meet people's eye level, you hear this chair sliding behind you, and Matthias kind of if you and he kind of slides the chair underneath your feet as you're hovering there.
Almond's gonna immediately see that and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," and he'll land down on the ground and say, "Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate that."
Don't badger our guests, please.
Oh, it's no bother,
They want
sir.
to float, they
Thank
can
you.
float. It's okay.
Almond
Yes, sir.
will
Yes, sir.
politely sit down in the
He
chair.
can float if
And
he
then-
wants to. I'm
Almond will
sorry.
politely sit down in the chair and then like, "Thank you" to Matthias.
He nods and says, "If you need anything," and heads out of the room and closes the doors.
Meanwhile,
Welcome,
while all this is happening, Grandel kind of made his way over to the bookcase, pretty kind of rudely, not saying hi or anything.
I'm
But-
just kind of ignoring you, and I'm just staring. Right at Uber and Almond.
We had a mutual understanding of, oh, you're not the most interesting thing here, and just kind of
And I'm not either. Yeah, you are always in our libraries. And everything. What
Almond is going to.
What brings you three to my household this day?
I'm gonna gesture over to Grandel and say, "Hey, Grandel,
and
I think we're
immediately
having a little bit of a meeting over here, buddy."
after about
It's
maybe
no rush. Should I send for tea or perhaps some snacks or whatever fancies you?
I mean, I could go for some almonds. Almond will. No, I'm all
Okay,
good with
well,
some tea
maybe,
for now. Thank you, though.
I can. I ring I've got a brass bell.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of on my desk, and I just ring it, and usually that's the closest person that's in like personnel that's in the hallway will usually come running. I think.
It takes a few seconds, but after you ring the bell, the door opens again, and Matthias's head sticks inside. Yes, sir. What?
Matthias, do we have almonds on hand by chance?
All?
Oh, it's really
The
not
nut.
a big deal. I was.
Yes, the nut, of course.
Of course, sir. I'll go to the kitchen.
Can we get a bowl of that and maybe just bring our usual tea spread in here for our guests?
Indeed, of course,
Please?
sir. Yes.
Thank you.
I don't want to cause a hassle if you guys don't have any. It's fine if I
No
don't get
hassle
any.
at all.
It's not a problem. I'll see to it in the kitchen. Yes. And
That'll be the most excited thing that's happened in this house today.
again he backs out, and a few minutes later comes back with a like silver tea tray, like the most beautiful ornate tea set, and a like crystal glass bowl piled perfectly with almond. It's like
Oh,
it
man.
almost looks like someone hand arranged the almonds to orient themselves
Someone
in like a
did
picturesque
hand-arrange
way.
the almond.
I go up to where the bowl is and I just kind of fluff the almonds just out of perfect order.
You do this as Matthias is walking out, and you watch him like give a little twitch and slip out of the room.
I have not been able to get that man to relax my entire time here. Hopefully you feel relaxed.
Uvril assumingly kind of walks over to the desk and leans kind of on the edge of it. Doesn't quite sit down, but he's within earshot, but he's quite a ways away from everybody.
Okay. I walk over to Grandel.
and all of a
Any,
sudden Grandel's like kind of bursts out, and pulls out this book from the library and says, "This is the first edition of my third volume of the mineral composition of pre-Uthadurnian Uthadurn. And by judging by the binding, Charlie, you never read it."
Must have skipped that lesson or two. There's like hundreds of books.
Oh yeah.
Just well, I
all
apologize
just
for
for
not
show.
reading that. Would you like me to read it? Would you sum it up for me
Yeah.
since you're
I
or maybe perhaps another time for a lesson.
Grandel's
Yeah,
just like
Grandel,
dumbfounded.
why don't you tell us your favorite passage? I mean, you wrote the book.
On page 80, no. Chapter 85. Page pages 7 through 12, we get into the change in molecular composition
I go sit
and
the desk
arrangement.
and kick my feet up, and I kind of look back and forth between Uvril and Almond.
And
Who's doing that? Do you know? What can I do for you? Are you still reading over there?
yeah, he's just kind of he's kind of trailing off, like reading to himself, and just kind of you can tell he's kind of critiquing his own work, from 100 years ago, just being a little like he's realizing he made some errors. So yeah, he's lost in thought.
Have you told me your names yet, or?
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I should have introduced myself when I came in. My name is Almond Tumblesprite, but you can just call me Almond.
Okay.
And Uvril sits up off the desk. I'm Uvril. What did you say your name was?
I'm Charles Brinsworth. But
I
Charles,
appreciate
you to finally meet
it's
you.
fine amongst friends.
When
Well, I
Grandel
appreciate
wasn't
you opening your home to
self-critiquing,
us.
when Grandel wasn't self-critiquing so much, he's told us a lot about you.
Oh, that could be a dangerous prospect.
Mostly good things, at least. Mostly.
So, Grandel, what brings you to this lovely, sprawling metropolis and this lovely house?
I came to get my book back.
It's the
No.
book. We'll take the book. It's yours. Any other books that you'd like to take from here? That's fine.
So,
Nothing
Well,
else. Okay.
while this is all happening, I kind of walk over to the big sprawling window and I kind of lean against it and I slide the curtains and I'm just kind of watching outside.
It's a busy day out there. Huh? Did you have any trouble at the gates?
Not really. I mean, I kind of got teased a little bit, but I'm kind of used to that at this point.
Yeah, they're not used to seeing, specifically any Fey folk here.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm trying to fix at least. It's not like I'm gonna be doing anything bad here, but I'm trying to right the wrongs of our past at least. So, yeah.
Well, all are welcome in this house.
Thank you. You're very generous. Thank you.
Where are you staying for the time being? How long are you in town? Regale me the details.
Well, they did assign us an inn when we first got here. So we just kind of decided that we would stop by here on our way there. I think we're just walking around for the time being at least. So thought we'd come by and introduce ourselves, and then of course check out this massive library that you have here. See if Grandel could take any more books off your hands.
Please do. Somebody will be by to fill them at some point with something that I probably am not going to read. If you find the inn not to your liking, we have many rooms here, and you're welcome to stay. Any friend of Grendel's is a friend of mine, and the family.
Thank you. That's very generous of you.
and I will say, indeed, you have plenty of guest rooms in this manor, and they are all empty at the moment.
At least one, yeah. There's a
Yeah. As you all are kind of recounting stories of your travels and kind of explaining where each of you, what your motivations might be for having come here to this capital city, mid-conversation, another knock at the door.
Oh yes, come in.
Again, the large oak doors. One of them opens, and Matthias' head sticks in. Pardon me, I don't mean to interrupt, but
You're not interrupting. You are always welcome.
Indeed. You said to inform you when Adario signaled that Arianwen was sighted approaching the gates. The signal has been given, and with current traffic at the gates, I estimate a passage through the guard point within the half hour or so.
Would you mind taking an escort to the gates and maybe expediting that process with any means necessary?
Indeed, sire.
Not proper for Brinsworth's guests to be held up at the gate, please.
If you wish to exert that influence yourself, sire, a carriage is ready for you, should you wish to meet her at the gate.
Oh, making me do it. Okay. I like this. I like this.
If it
What do
is
you-
proper.
You three care to come to the gate with me, or have you
Yeah,
finished
we
your
can
business?
tag along with you, or at least I can.
If you're not,
Charlie, I'm
maybe we
180
could,
years old. I'm tired.
Well, the carriage I'm sure is large enough for you to nap in, and our two guests here. I'm assuming you haven't seen much of the city. We could
Actually,
Maybe
yeah, the sightseeing
do
would
a
be
bus
pretty
my
nice, I
friend
think.
and do some sightseeing.
Chase, please tell me it's a double-decker carriage
And
Matthias, what do you
It is
think
now.
of that plan? Does that fit
It
your
is
day?
now.
with
Well,
a boat's room.
it's like it's this
Yeah, what
ornate
is it?
it's this ornate like dark blue carriage that's been wrapped with like dark blue velvet and wood inlays everywhere. So it's like it very much does not feel like an outdoor vehicle. It's kept pristinely clean, and you get the sense as well that the horses they look strong, healthy, well taken care of. You don't think they've seen much time outside, like either the city or like training stables. They have not had a difficult day in their lives. They're very, very well taken care of.
Up to the carriage in the front gate at once.
And indeed, normally the top is reserved for like the driver, but there is enough room up there that if you wanted to do your double-decker bus tour style thing, you could, of course, insist on sitting up top.
Absolutely. Grandel can like nap in the interior, and then I can use what knowledge I currently don't possess out of game that I'm hoping you'll fill in to fill them in about the city.
Oh yeah, you got it.
And here's the patriarchy to the right.
Yeah, Almond is 100% gonna flutter up to the top of the carriage and kind of like sit on the end, just kind of like staring at everything and everyone, just kind of taking everything in.
Whoa!
Here's our
Is
desk
Matthias,
box to
is
the left.
Matthias driving?
Sorry, hi.
As
Or is one of
you
the other personnel driving?
as you kind of drive them through the city, you fill them in on a few things historically and whatnot. Some of the interesting laws and the quirks of culture in the Dwendalian Empire. As you're moving through, you all see, compared to many of the cities that you've passed through or heard about, the culture here seems, I'll put it this way. In many cities outside of the Dwendalian Empire, you notice outward worship of gods. You notice people kind of having that relaxed sense of, the mix of cultures of people who may worship and some who don't. In Rexentrum in particular, any mention of anything kind of godly or arcane is kind of buttoned into specific areas and tightened up, and most of the city is, for lack of a better term, like secularized to the point where, and you note as well in that kind of list of laws that I said that there's a law about worship of unauthorized deities, and there's a very steep punishment of like it's like a month in prison and a big fine. You notice there's a big culture of like politics and how people see you. So as you're out in this Brinsworth carriage, like there are people who specifically look and acknowledge the carriage, and like you almost see these like little social rituals that Charles is doing with these other folks as you pass through kind of the ritzier part, and then moving toward the western gate. You also notice that from like a class perspective, things are stratified. There are very clear delineations between this is an upper class neighborhood, this is a working class neighborhood, this is a lower class neighborhood, and they seem to radiate out from the center of the city. I will say, however, that the Brinsworth Manor in particular almost seems to breach a little bit of that that caste structure, where even though technically, yes, it's built in one of the higher end areas, the way that it's positioned at the edge almost makes it look like a bridge between the borders of its area and the next one. Otherwise, while you all are on your tour of the city, we again shift our perspective out beyond the west wall of the city, walking along the cobblestone street. And again, the housing has kind of spilled past the outer walls of the city, so this is technically Rexentrum, but it's beyond the kind of walled defenses. It's still patrolled by Crown's Guard, but a city like this can only get so dense before it has to expand into the nearby areas. And in these kind of rolling hills, this broken cobblestone street, we meet, well, Jen. If you could introduce your character as she walks toward the western gate of Rexentrum.
So she's cloaked and hooded, but under the hood she's got sort of really what she's let her hair go wild, but it's got enough braids in it to keep it back and look nice, but not rigidly nice, if that makes sense. It does make sense. And she's got on underneath the cloak looks humble, but if you looked upon closer inspection, it's actually quite expensive. Like, it's a very good traveling cloak. And under that, she's her clothes have, again, they're very humble looking, like classy, humble looking, but expensive, embroidered with all form of nature imagery. I don't know if I should share what I should share. Besides that, she's got on a necklace with amber and emerald, and she looks like that midway point between not wanting to go to where she's going and stalwartly just talking herself up into going. Yeah, in her head. So like, if you had a really good insight check, like, you would see this conflict going on, where she's stiff as a rod, but wants to slump into like, I don't want to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. As you crest a hill, for the first time, you see directly a line of people in front of you, probably about 50 in total, some in groups of 2 or 3, a few larger families, leading all the way to the western gate where you intend to enter. One family in front of you is like a tabaxi and a human with 3 adorable little half tabaxi children. They kind of shuffle forward as the line moves, and you see what looks like the oldest child, like, all of a sudden dart off in one direction, and the tabaxi like sets down a child and darts off to kind of herd the
literally
like herding
herding
cats.
cats.
Yeah. Kind of herd the child back to the group. As you approach the back of the line, a Crown's Guard walking along the line speaks up. Have your papers out. If you have them, be prepared for a search of your belongings. No trouble in Rexentrum today, no sir. He kind of eyes a half-orc in front of you, standing in line by himself. What are you doing?
Eyeing, like, racistly eyeing.
Definitely suspicious. It's hard to tell if it's because he's a half-orc or just because this guy's a jerk.
But as in the guard is a jerk.
The guard, yeah.
So I guess I'm going to I pull my hood just a little bit closer, like over the red hair. But I notice that guy's alone, and I just like walk up to him and put my hand like on him, like we're friends, and I like dart like not today.
daggers. At
Not
the,
today daggers.
Yeah, exactly. The guard kind of looks and kind of shakes his head and starts to walk back up toward the front of the line.
And I start up a conversation with the guy.
Yeah, you
like one of those friendly, like back and forths.
As you start to talk, the half orc kind of looks over at you, and he's tall. He's like probably 7 feet.
So less like this and more like.
Yeah. Oh,
she's a half elf, by the way. I didn't even.
Yes.
Under that.
He looks down at you and kind of, thanks for that, and happily starts a conversation. You learn that he is traveling for business, hates large cities, but his family is in a trade business, and you kind of get like the details. I'm happy to give you all the details, but you kind of get the sense that he's less interested in the particulars of the business and more interested in just kind of like getting himself through his business here and getting home to his family. And,
can I ask what kind of trade? Knowing like there are rumors of wars going around, right? So I imagine, you've got a lot of tradespeople coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, so it's particular crops like potatoes and that kind of thing. And indeed, the rumors of war are part of the reason that he has to travel to the city at the moment, because they need to make sure that if things go south and supplies need to start getting shifted different ways, that they're not left out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So I'm putting that in my brain bank and.
Absolutely.
Not tipping my hand, but
after 20 minutes or so, you finally get up to the gate. Do you think, would you have some sort of paperwork detailing anything, or are you like?
I was thinking about that because she went back and forth. She did so like this. So Jen went back and forth. Ariane went back and forth. She's gonna have just her own paperwork. Like there's a sense of if something goes down, something goes down, and she's in a spot to deal with it, like a mental, emotional, spiritual spot to deal with it.
Sure.
But that if she could avoid it, like. Yeah. These grunts aren't gonna care, so she has her own papers.
Sure. Okay. As you walk up, the half orc kind of nods and parts ways with you, and kind of goes through the process. As you walk up, you see another kind of bored-looking guard. They really don't love this particular duty. He's set up at a table and kind of waves you over. Right. Show me everything you have. No contraband, nothing illegal. As you walk up, you see on the other side of the gate, about 100 feet away, horses drawing this dark blue ornate carriage and the familiar family crest emblazoned on the like half door. And as it stops, you see stepping off the top, I guess, Charles and these other three figures that you don't recognize. He fairly quickly spots you and slowly begins to walk in your direction as this guard is like asking you to like empty your pockets, empty your bag, so that he can see that you're not, carrying drugs or something.
So she hands over her papers and she's like, okay, but make it quick because my ride's here, and gives a nod towards the carriage with the symbol and the everything.
My Uber's outside.
I return the nod and I kind of try to
my
lock
Uber
eyes
that happens
with
to be one of the most powerful people in the what did you say?
Oh, I said I nod and try to lock our eyes with the guard of like.
Yeah, the guard kind of looks, and as he is starting to look at you, all of a sudden commotion behind. There are several people who have now been kind of in line behind you, but the small crowd kind of parts, and seemingly out of nowhere, 3 figures in long cloaks who appear heavily injured and in need. They're caked in dried blood and mud. The 2 whose faces you see who are upright look tired. Like even from here, their eyes, you can tell, are bloodshot, their face sinking. The larger of the two is carrying a third figure. She's clearly unconscious and seems to be missing most of her left arm. And they run up. You see a makeshift tourniquet has been tied just below the shoulder, and whatever color the cloth used to be, it's now a dark maroon. And they're yelling, "Help us! Help us! Please, someone!" And they're just booking it
I
toward
shout,
the
like,
gate.
let him through. And I, whoever's driving the carriage, I'm like, help me get them in the carriage.
The guards start to move toward them. The one at the table kind of dismissing this, you guys completely, and like gets up and starts to move toward them to see what's going on.
I start moving that way too.
Yeah,
you all
almost following suit.
As you start moving toward the gate, you hear a new sound, as well as screams, ah! Ah! Wing flaps, and coming just over the rooftops, flying very low, screech, low. What starts as kind of a dark flurry quickly grows and splits, and you see two hulking dragon-like creatures swoop in and land in front of the gates. The elves looking back, "They've chased us! We were attacked! Help!" I need everyone to roll initiative, and we are going to open up our first combat map in our VTT here. Let me get our stream switched over.
Alrighty, man.
While we're switching over, I need to tell Zach that Pixelations said that they would fully die for Almond. So yeah.
All right.
This is the part where somebody's gonna have to remind me how to roll initiative.
Yeah, no problem. So in your character sheet, on the main page, all the way on the right, just click the word initiative, and it'll roll.
So I don't have to do anything fancy, and
no.
Wait. New game, new initiative rolls. No more ones for me.
So
I ain't Ashley Johnson no more.
I will also ask for you guys to tell me, so you can kind of see here where things are positioned, and I'll just point out a few things. Over here, I think, yeah, there you go. Those three are the three elves. The one in the middle is the injured one. Other than your tokens, everybody else on here are guards. You can see there are 3 on the ground here, 2 up in the towers. I will ask you guys, where do you think you would have been positioned, considering the context?
Sorceress out front.
I would have been sprinting towards the injured.
Yeah.
So wherever that
like
landed me, by the time I said it, when the
that's fair.
dragons landed.
Yeah.
I
waking
feel like
up.
Almond would be quickly following suit. Just he's flying, like darting through as many people as he possibly can.
Sure.
He's gonna try to get close as he can to the injured people.
And
Okay.
I see Charles sprinting, so I stay where I am.
Okay. Excellent.
And Grendel
I'll
is
definitely
asleep.
say you guys get about there. Grendel, where are you in this fray?
He's like still half asleep, making his way out of the carriage. Like he's
Okay.
still back there.
Awesome.
Just-
All right.
Oh.
Cool. So
Chase,
yeah.
can I quickly, for flavor, say that when they were searching for contraband, she had her holy symbol to the Wild Mother in her hand in case she had to light it on fire?
Sure. Absolutely.
Awesome.
And then I will give these guys. I'll just give one of them a place in the initiative and go from there. Roll NPCs. Oh, amazing. I love using Foundry.
We want Foundry. We spend
'cause-
Foundry.
I already have everyone's initiative, and we can just jump in. Almond,
Ooh.
you looking ahead, going toward those injured, you see these things land, and they are not very far from the. Actually, they're a little bit further back. They are not very far from the injured elves. What are you doing?
All right. Shoot. Okay. Part of me's wanting this.
No, you're a
is.
druid.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna buff people to start. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast Bless,
All right.
and I'm gonna get a quick. I'm gonna go ahead and bless. Let's do. Forgot I can do it on here too. Okay.
And by the way,
Actually,
if
I don't
anybody
know.
needs a Foundry like controls refresher, I'm happy to do that on the fly here. Most of what we'll need will go by pretty quick. So
Yeah. So is Shift click to target somebody or no?
make sure you have your token selected, and then you're going to hold
Mhm.
Shift and hit T on anybody that you're. It's blessed, so
Gotcha.
3 people, unless you're upcasting it.
Cast spell.
Mm-hmm.
Did I do it? I think I did.
Should be. If you see a button that says Apply Active Effects, go ahead and click that.
Where would that come up? I'm sorry.
In the chat.
Oh.
Yeah, all good.
Yep. There we go.
Boom, there it is. Oh wait, try it one more time. There we go.
Perfect.
Now it's automatically applied. Excellent. Cool. So bless is your action. Any bonus action and movement from you?
I'm gonna go ahead and move. I'm gonna
got it.
move right about here,
Go for it.
and then I'm gonna kind of like stand side by side this guard right here,
Mhm.
and then kind of prepare my staff of flowers, very menacing looking staff, and I'm going to kind of like stay in my ground as much as I can and get ready for the onslaught that's about to come in.
All right. Excellent. Next up, Ari. You've just watched Almond come past. You feel the this blessing hit you. What are you doing?
I think she left.
Oh, did we lose Jen? Uh-oh.
she's scared.
She was like, I'm not fighting these
Be an
things.
internet group.
All
No.
good. We will get her back momentarily. Oh yeah, it looks like she's internet dropped.
Oh no.
Not to worry at all.
Just kind of sidebar with the dragons, like, so you come here often, or
As you guys are watching these things that have swooped in, I will say while we're waiting, all of you give me a history check real quick to see whether you have seen these creatures before. And Jen, don't worry, we are okay, good.
Nat 20, baby.
oh, nice.
Chase, what's the easiest way? Can I just click on history?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Grendel
can.
has taught me well.
God damn.
We're all very.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
Two nat 20s!
Dude!
All right.
Now our combat
Let's
rolls
go.
are just gonna get us killed the whole night. Good job. Well done.
Okay, so you all have at least read about, if not seen, wyverns before.
Mm.
Yes, these are dragons that are well, they're dragon type creatures, but they're not as intelligent as dragons. They're kind of a I don't want to say lesser. That feels demeaning, but a lesser dragon. And in this context, I will say you all know that often, if you see them in a group like this, well, it's unusual to see them branch off in a group like this. Typically, there is something larger that directs them or might be tasking them in some way.
So the chat is right. It is the wyvern version of the Chroma Conclave.
We'll see.
Would
We'll
a
see.
17
I hope
cue
not.
me in on like breath attacks? Maybe
Oh yeah.
look like they do anything extra special? Is there anything shiny about them, perhaps?
Stingers. They have stingers on their tails. That's the main thing to watch out for.
Fantastic.
Keep your distance.
All right, so Ari, that puts us to your turn.
Mhm.
Whenever you're ready.
Let me think about it. So what do we got? Did anybody hit anything? My
The only thing that's happened so far is Almond
Bless.
cast Bless, and moved up.
Is it good or bad that the two spellcasters both are going right now? So I guess let's just start this nice and simple and cast. I don't know what's better. Ray of Frost. We're gonna cast Ray of Frost on. Okay. I am going to need to remember how to do this. So.
All good.
I click on me and then I choose something to target. And just a refresher.
Yep, and just hit T. Hover over the target and hit T.
And our targets are these three. Not the. Oh, you can see me. Are the three?
Mm-hmm. No, your targets are the
wyverns. There we go. I got it. I had to zoom out. You're awesome. The one there. I'm assuming I have to move to do that.
Jen accidentally frostbolts a guard.
Right.
Ooh.
Nice. 26 will hit.
Beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely
Roll
beautiful.
your damage.
Yeah. How do I think didn't it already?
Go to the chat. No, it just rolled the d20 plus the d4. Go to the chat, and there should be a damage button waiting for you.
It says hits wyvern. Oh, chat, why are you doing this to me?
Should be a little above that, next to your Ray of Frost.
There it is. There was just so much information. It was not a critical hit.
It's all good.
Nice! Nice!
All right.
Those D8s, right? Nice! Aha!
Excellent. As you this streak of cold, and you watch the ice like start to form on its wings, and as it kind of like flaps, you watch. It's almost like if you've ever seen like liquid nitrogen freeze something and then it like cracks away. That's how this Ray of Frost is doing damage to them.
Nice.
Awesome. Any bonus action or movement from you?
I don't have bonus actions unless I spend sorcery points, so no, and I feel pretty cozy where I am, so no. Their speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. That brings us to Charles.
Let's see. Trying to remember how to move here.
Ray of
drag
Frost.
Token.
Yeah. You can drag your token. You just want to make sure you're on the token controls tool that says select tokens.
Alright, select tokens.
Top.
I'm gonna.
If you want to measure as you move, you can hold control and click and drag, and it'll tell you like movement speed, and then you just hit space to execute that. Or you can just drag your token if you want to figure it out yourself.
I'm gonna move up.
Yep.
Here. I'm gonna go ahead. Which one did Ariana hit? The one on the right or the left here?
The one on the right.
That's Shift T. There we go. Make a light crossbow attack.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice. 16 is a hit. Yeah. Go ahead and roll your damage.
8. So I'm gonna roll to attack again.
Go for it. You are welcome, if you like to celebrate attack rolls, you are welcome to announce those numbers, because that was ridiculous that you rolled a 30
with the blessing on there and
very much
level 5 mastery.
Oh
my gosh.
This is basically like royalty John Wick here.
Royalty John Wick.
Cool.
I love it.
I just fire those two off, and I just kind of yell to anybody like available, like, get the injured inside the gates, go, go, go. And that'll end my turn. Do I have to do anything to end my turn, by the way?
Nope, I got it. All right. Next up, our first wyvern is going to, with its speed reduced by 10 feet, is going to. Well, it's on the ground. It's walking. I'm gonna say because it was planning on walking up to the elves, it's going to walk, and it only gets a little bit.
You're being very kind.
However, its bite attack does have a range of 10 feet. So you watch it, as it, like, its slowed movement, it's still able to kind of, like, reach its head forward and do a bite attack toward the first elf, which is going to be a... that's gonna hit. That's a 14 to hit, and it takes 10 points, of damage. You see this already beaten and bruised elf, gets, a chunk of flesh bitten out of him as he's running. This is not the one that's carrying the other one. This is the one running on his own, kind of like pulling the others along. From there, yeah, it is going to it's going to make a stinger attack, because that is also a 10-foot reach. It just can't attack with its claws.
I'd like to compliment Chase on accidentally pocket bard, picked up as soon as you were and it's the wyvern's turn, and it started doing the da 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 da. It was great.
Serendipitous
Perfect.
sync.
Yeah.
We love it. All right. It is going to. It whips around with its tail and whips this guy, who you see kind of stumble forward, and as if this guy, who already looks battle beaten, didn't look bad enough. You watch as his movement kind of slows and goes a little awkward. Mechanically, he's not moving slower, but he is poisoned.
Oh no, poor guy.
The only
All
thing
right.
lesser restoration is good for.
From there, Grandel, it is your turn with Uvril on deck.
I have a quick question about my javelin.
Yeah.
It says range 30/120 feet.
Yeah, so if you are within 30 feet, it's a normal roll. If you're between 30 and 120, you have disadvantage.
Okay. Then Grandel is just gonna start running towards the wyvern here,
Cool. You got 35 feet.
and he's not gonna rage yet, but he's getting ready. And that ends his turn.
Okay. If you'd like to get closer, you can use your action to dash. That'll give you another 35 feet. That way you're closer for the next turn.
He's not quite awake enough for that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Gotta crack the back
Wait.
first.
Yeah.
Play into the story. I respect it. Excellent. And no... Okay. You said that ends your turn?
Yep.
Okay.
All the min-maxers out there are we hate Alex.
I know. I'm not a min-maxer myself. I'm be aware of the optimal mechanics and play to the story. And even I was like, you said you end your turn there? Okay.
I love it, Alex.
I love it.
I love it.
Amazing. All right, Uvril, you're up. Go for it.
Kind of in a rush, Uvril's going to charge forward, and he's going to get as close as he can to them. And then I'm going to go ahead and use... I'm going to make sure I do this in the right order, or it's going to go horribly. I'm going to go ahead and use my bonus action to manifest Echo.
Nice. All right,
And
where you going?
I can put that 15 feet from me, so I'm just going to put it 15 feet closer to them.
Okay. There's your echo.
Okay. And then...
We may have to see if Foundry has any fancy Echo Knight implementation that's cool. But
Right,
I
that'd be
haven't
kind of
figured it
cool.
out yet.
Yeah. Let's see.
I can whip something up in
let's see.
Photoshop for you.
And then...
And then
Let me double check how far he can move himself as well.
it's less fun if he doesn't catch on, so I'll stop.
I heard you, Jen.
Okay,
I'm just
yeah, I know.
politely ignoring
Yeah, I
it. Yeah. I was like, I know I don't have an echo going on.
Well,
I mean, that one,
was
not
never
that
gonna
one.
sound like a direct echo. Let's be honest.
I guess I can't use it how I thought I was going to, so we're just gonna chill there.
That's how I feel about Invoke Duplicity in Baldur's Gate.
All right, excellent. You know, I have not tried the invoked. Oh no, it's not invoked duplicity that I have in Baldur's Gate. It's yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I haven't tried that yet in Baldur's Gate. All right, so Uvril, that's where you're ending your turn.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Next in the order is the other wyvern, who is going to get up, flying off the ground, and having seen Charles attack, yep, it's got plenty of movement to do that, gets over to Charles and is going to first take a bite attack at you. That is going to be a 22 to hit.
Yeah, my hit just a little bit.
Okay, all right. You know, just making sure. So that is 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And as it bites you, it also kind of rears up, and its tail comes from underneath and tries to kind of do almost like a scorpion dart at you with the tail attack. That is going to be 25 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. I also need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
It should be a 21, sorry.
21? Yeah, 21 is great. So you take 12 points of piercing damage, and then 27 half to 13 poison damage.
I went from 46 to 10.
These things are not messing around.
Fair enough.
All right. That is its turn. Next up, the elves. The elves see this thing kind of land in front of them and start attacking you. One of them is going to... the one that was carrying the unconscious one is going to kind of run off to the side. Let's see. Look at them. About there. Run off to the side and start trying to head through the gate. Whoops, don't do that. The other one is going to run up to the one that just attacked you, draw a sword, and through the like stupor of poison, try to slash at this wyvern. Oh, I forgot to give him the correct weapon. It is all right. I will manually add the stats. That's a 1. So on the first swing, second swing, that's a hit. 21, and I'm going to do okay, a little bit of damage to it. A couple of points of damage. You watch as even through the poison, he's like slicing into it and barely keeping his eyes open as he's fighting off the effects.
Run! I'm like screaming at this obviously poison-drunk individual.
You scream. The wyvern in front of you, right in your face as well.
I'm putting my intestines back in as I'm screaming this.
From there, the two of the guards run up, and this one will be able to get around. Yep. And they just start hacking away. Let me do a couple of quick rolls for them. And wow, it's actually pretty quick to like genuinely roll all of the stuff from these guards. Not bad at all. All right. So the two of them slash. They're taking chunks out of this thing. You see, or see out of the corners of your vision the guards that are up on the towers. Arrows knocking into these things. They are firing away. That brings us to the top of the round. Almond with Ari on deck.
All right. Okay. So Almond, he's going to go ahead and move 5, 10, 15, 20 right over here.
Okay.
So you can get a good line of sight on this wyvern to the south. He's going to go ahead and cast Moonbeam right on top of it.
Nice.
I love
All right.
Let's see. Where is Moonbeam at?
5 foot diameter or 5 foot radius circle?
It's a 5 foot radius circle, I believe.
Nice. All right.
There it is.
Slightly off center it so it's easier to see.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and place it right on top of it, and then. All right. So with Moonbeam, it's gonna take 2d10 when it enters the spell's area for the first time, or when it starts its turn there.
Okay.
It's engulfed in ghostly flames that cause searing pain. Ouchie wouchie.
Ouchie wouchie indeed. You all see as Almond does the motions for this beam of shimmering moonlight kind of emerges almost out of nowhere across this thing and just bathes it in light. All right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and roll for its damage.
I believe it's the damage on its turn, right?
When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time, or starts on a turn, or starts its turn there.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's prompting me to make a con save. Did that splash me in any way?
You shouldn't need to.
I think it's a little bit on his token.
Almond,
I placed it on
But I
the
don't
wyvern
know.
to
Did
the
you?
south.
Well, it's two things. Did you place a measured template for the effect, or no?
Yeah, I placed it on top of it.
Okay. My apologies. I drew a circle underneath. It's possible that it accidentally. Wait, how would it have splashed Uvril though? Well,
That's why I'm like, I don't know, but it's saying from Zach, I need to make a con save.
just so it clears it, go ahead and make the save, and just don't worry about it.
Gets in that one.
And it needs to make a con save as well.
Zach!
I think you may have had
Even
Uvril
better, though.
targeted.
I may have.
It's all good. Does the wyvern need to make a con save?
He would have,
I
yeah.
guess
He
so.
should have.
Yeah.
Not me.
Would it do more damage too? Would it Moonbeam do more damage to you, Uberl?
Is it radiant?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, I have resistance to radiant.
Okay, good.
So it rolled a 5, which I imagine fails.
Yeah, that would fail.
Yeah, let me.
So it would
Let me
take
look at
the
Moonbeam
8
real
damage
quick.
then that I rolled.
Okay, got it.
Alright, and then as my bonus action, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do. Would you allow me to do Healing Word? I know I casted a spell, but
No, you would have to. You'd have to have like meta magic, quicken, or something like that.
he's gonna say, or he's gonna shout over to Charles and say, "I got you here in 6 seconds. Don't worry."
Anyway, Bob. Focus on the injured.
More injured.
Oh, and hey, I can actually mark.
I will say Quicken Spell does not get you over, like, with Quicken Spell you can't do 2 spells.
You're right.
But it allows you to cast a cantrip that is an action as a bonus action, basically, or vice versa. Yeah, so you can do it.
Yeah.
Bonus word is
you're
the
right, I
bonus
misspoke.
action, so.
I play a fairy in my campaign, and it's a lot of fun.
I'm
but
not
right,
correcting you for any other reason except to bring up. I have Quicken Spell, so I literally just reread it.
Yeah, all good.
I'm also reminding myself so I don't try to break the game.
All good. All right, well, that actually brings us to your turn with Charles on deck.
Yeah. I have a quick strategy question for the fighters as far as your abilities go. Do you have any abilities that you would want the Wyvern to be making a saving throw on?
Yes, I do. I have one that I'm going to use.
On your next turn?
Yes.
So then I'll do this sort of the opposite way around from what I was going to do. In that vein, I will cast Quicken Spell so that I can cast both a cantrip and a spell on my turn. I am going to decide immediately what I'm doing. Let's do Tasha's Mind Whip first, because that has a save, and I'll let the fighter's save be the one that, if it, passes it. I think I hit the right, so I'm clicking on my thing, I'm clicking target on there. We've got a Tasha's Mind Whip happening, cast spell. No, the 10 is my Wild Magic Surge, which I do not surge. Did it roll? No, because you have to roll an intelligence save for the Wyvern.
Sure. You got it. Oh, it's that's not going to be good. That is a 13.
I'm pretty sure my spell DC is 16 or something. Where do I see?
All right.
Where do I see my spell DC?
In your spell book, it's right at the top. Should be next to your.
It's next to action.
There it is.
Action,
it's 16.
action.
It's 16. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. It fails.
Beautiful. So it's going to take 3d6 damage.
Go for it.
I tried clicking. I'm just going to click 3d6. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
When in doubt, just use the dice tray.
Not super great, but sure. But that's not why we cast it. The target, on a failed save, it can't take any reactions until the end of its next turn, and it must choose on its turn whether it moves, does an action, or a bonus action, and it only gets one of the 3.
Love that spell.
We like it. We like it a lot.
Very nice.
And with my Quicken Spell, we're going to do Mind Sliver so that hopefully the next saving throw on it will be bad for it and good for us. I clicked Mind Sliver. I don't. Oh, there we go. It's another one where you have to save. I don't have to.
Okay. I believe Mind Sliver is a wisdom save.
Again.
Intelligence save.
Yeah, it's intelligence.
Cool. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Mine.
Yeah.
Okay. A natural 3 for 0.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So we damage it with a
yes,
normal.
You do.
And then apply active effects, which I hope helps. So on its next saving throw, it subtracts 1d4. I'm trying to see if it does anything else. I don't think it does.
All right.
It would be weird if a cantrip did anything else.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Beautiful.
Excellent.
I'm
right.
feeling good.
So
in the neighborhood.
as you kind of 1-2 this thing with Mind Whip, Tasha's Mind Whip, and then Mind Sliver, this thing is just like you see almost like a heat mirage type effect around its head as it's like reeling back, and the energy is just scrambling its mind, and you all very much notice that this thing is off at the moment, and indeed no reactions, and next turn is going to be not much for it.
Oh, I think what I'll do is I'll yell at the really, really injured elf to get away, and it's safe to get away. You know what I mean? So In D&D speak, no reaction there. No attack of opportunity.
Got it.
In role-playing speak, get the
All right. I believe, is that the end of your turn?
Yes. Excuse my language.
All right.
Go on.
Charles, you are up.
Cool. I'm going to move here. I'm
for
going to make 2 crossbow attacks against the wyvern closest to me here.
Okay. And you have crossbow expert, right? So no disadvantage on that.
I'm going to go ahead and use precision attack here to add my 1d8 to that. So I'm just going to pop a d8 down.
Yep.
Does a 14 hit?
A 14 does hit.
Cool.
Let's go.
So I'm going to roll damage. Fire off another crossbow attack. Boy, howdy.
He still gets an 11 off of a 2. Jeez.
But you know a lot of things, Charles. You know so much about this wyvern.
Did you add the d8 to your damage or your attack roll?
My attack roll.
What? Oh, I'm not familiar with the precision attack maneuver. That's why I was confused.
Oh, apologies.
I thought
Yeah,
they all
whenever you
added
make
d8s to the damage.
Whenever you make a weapon attack roll against a creature, you can expend 1 superiority die to add it to the roll, and you can do it after making the attack roll, but before any effects of the attack.
Nice. All right.
Ooh,
Cool.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
not
your
do that
first
with
shot.
this one.
Your first shot right in, and it reels back. Your second one goes right into the dirt next to you as it's moving.
I am going to, after that second attack, I'm going to bait and switch with this poison fellow here.
That is my favorite fighter move.
I'm going to roll another d8 here, and that's going to get added to their AC. So they have +5 to their AC.
Nice.
And then for my bonus action, finally here, I'm going to do a 1d10 plus fighter level for second wind. I gain 9 hit points back, so... my turn's up.
All right.
And I just shout as I'm doing these, like, crazy, like... and just, like, kind of bumping him out of the way, like... Yeah.
He, as you switch with him and push him back, he, like, nods at you, and you see him turn and start to move toward his friends. As he does so, the wyvern over here is going to now wings flap and is going to actually doesn't even need to wings flap. I'm sorry for moving
And
the
then
screen.
remember, it takes makes the con save for the 2d10, and then takes half if it succeeds. Since it's starting its turn in the Moonbeam.
Oh, that was this one?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, I applied the damage to the other one. All good. I think also what may have happened, when you're targeting, the only time you need to hold shift is when you're targeting multiple creatures. If you just hit T without shift, it'll switch your target to whoever you're on one at a time, so you're only targeting.
Okay.
Okay, it rolled a nat 1 on that con save, so
Awesome.
Go ahead and roll that damage.
So it takes 2d10. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 2d10. Nice. It's going to take 9 damage.
Got it. 9. All right. Now, it is going to kind of lumber forward and seeing Uvril in front of it here, going to take an attack. Why won't it go? There we go. Does 17 hit your echo?
So it says your echo has AC of 14 plus your proficiency bonus. What proficiency does it want me to use?
Just your standard proficiency bonus. So it's +3.
Top right of your.
Oh, I see it right above initiative.
Yep.
Okay, so it has a 17. What'd you roll?
17 exactly.
So yeah, 17 AC.
All right. So it and it only has 1 hit point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This thing bites into your echo, thinking it's got you, and the echo just dissolves. It is a bit confused at the moment, but it's going to use the rest of its movement, locking in and looking at you, to kind of launch itself with its wings over and use a claw attack on you. That's going to be a 24 to hit.
Yeah.
As it slices you with its claws, you take 10 points of slashing damage. That is it for its turn. Grandel the Gruff, you're up with Overall on deck.
So at this point, Grandel saw his good friend Charlie get, kind of decimated a while ago, and he's despite the fact he was moving slow, he's now pretty woken up, and just something comes over him that he hasn't felt in, 150 years, and he rages, and then makes his way towards straight up in front of this wyvern.
Mm-hmm.
And then swings with his great axe.
Nice, go for it.
And he rolls a nat 1.
Oh, okay.
He's shaking it off.
Oh,
shaking
shake
it
it
all
off.
off.
good.
Shake it
Yeah.
off.
It's a little rusty. It's fine.
You swing the great axe, and it just right into the dirt. You pull it back up.
Foundry
you have a second
decided
attack,
they
though, right?
didn't like Alex giving up the dash either.
So he's like yawning while he does that. He's raging and yawning. It's a weird combo.
You've got extra attack, so you can attack again.
So kind of, like somebody who's practicing their golf swing. He's trying to make a note of what he did wrong and goes for it again. And this time rolls. He gets 25.
Yeah, 25 definitely hits. Roll your damage.
Awesome. And just
You got lucky on
The
that
really
first
terrible
one.
part about that is the 1 is next to the 19.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking for where the damage is again.
In the chat, there's a little card that says damage. You can just click it.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
And then I'm just getting you must roll attack before rolling damage. Weird.
If you want just to make Foundry happy, you can roll another attack, or if you open up your inventory and just click the great axe, if it's the only thing open, you'll see another button that says standard roll, attack, damage. You should be able to click that button to get the damage roll.
I just hit damage. Did it? Doesn't seem to be working. Weird.
Oh no. Okay. It is 1d12 plus 3 if you want to do it with the dice tray.
Sure. Yeah, so it's 7.
All right, 7 damage. Excellent. And then did you add your rage plus 2, right?
Oh yeah, so 9.
Cool. All right. This time, like practicing your golf swing, and actually even closer to golf than maybe you meant, you upswing with this thing and just big slice right across it with the great axe, as your rage fills you. You see this thing is still very much thrown off. Like, you do plenty of damage, and it's like it's not even reacting because it's still trying to figure out its mind thing. So I believe you have 5 feet of movement left if you want to back up or move or anything, and if you have any bonus actions, you can still do that.
No bonus actions, but I'm going to move over here to try to get away from the second one.
You got it. All right. I also realized your attacks should have been at advantage because you were flanking, and I totally forgot.
Oh, we're playing.
I would like you to roll one more attack for me with advantage. So because you got a miss and a miss, that essentially counts. I mean, excuse me, a miss and a hit, that essentially counts as one attack. Roll me one more with advantage.
Grandel?
Grandel, yeah.
All right. We can
Alex.
do that, no
Pick
problem.
Pick up the next. Pick up what is next to you. Use an
Uh-oh.
improvised weapon.
With advantage, one more.
Oh, it's a 10.
That was
Our
a
DM
regular.
has left the chat.
You got what? do one more, Alex.
Oh, it was advantage? Sweet.
Yeah, it was advantage.
Oh!
Another one.
Okay, all right.
Throw up.
Now we're squared away.
You gotta stretch. You
Jeez.
gotta stretch first. Come on, we talked about
He's still a little rusty. It's been 150 years.
He's still thrown off by you not reading his book.
He was trying to get closer to you to yell at you still. In mid-battle.
All right. Any bonus actions from you?
Nope.
Okay, that brings us to Uvril with the confused wyvern on deck. Uvril, what you got?
Jen, which one did you have that had a? It was not the one that's directly in front of me, huh? That's gonna get the negative to its save.
No, it's
This
not.
one.
Yeah.
That
But in
sucks.
theory, it looks as
Damn
if
you,
you might
Chase.
be able to convince Chase that you don't take an attack of opportunity if you like.
If you were to
skirt
move
by.
If you were to move here, you're technically in attack range of both, and so you would not take an attack of opportunity, because you're still
Because
you're
I'm not
still-
out of it.
Yeah.
How do I move halfway? Like, can I move between two half spaces? So I'm like in between the grid, or do I have to just?
I just go to the
Move to
grid
10
square.
feet.
There is a way to do it. I think you like click and drag and then
Okay.
hold shift before you let go or something like that. But don't worry about it. Yeah,
That's
you're
what I
good
do.
there.
Let me measure this real quick, because this might have a problem.
Math. Time to do some math.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're gonna have to make saves, I think.
It's just those
who is
two.
this- Just those? Are those both elf and guard?
think
Grandel
it's
is
just
the
the
one on
red
the bottom.
squares.
Oh, that's
And the
grand.
Yeah,
guard
it's
is
just
the
the red
one on the
squares.
top.
I think
And-
those two are saved.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
is it
two are
just
good.
the red squares? Oh,
Yep.
sweet. Then that works perfect. Okay. So first I'm gonna use action surge. Do I actually need to like click through that and roll it, or because it's just
yeah, if you
second
just-
action
If you just click through it, it'll make sure that it gets checked off your your thing.
usability? Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So action surge, and then my first action is gonna be necrotic shroud.
Ooh,
So you'll
alright.
see
Nice.
You'll see my eyes kind of glow dark black, and then two skeletal wings are gonna out my back. It needs to make a charisma save
Okay.
of. Let me see.
Charisma save. Those are rare.
So 14 is what it needs.
Do both of them need to do it?
Yes, because they're both
Oh.
in 10 feet.
Okay, so it gets a 14 exactly because it rolled a nat 20. Well, it rolled a nat 20, so it succeeds. But even with the
Right, even
Minus
with the
the
minus
D4,
D4, it's a
and the minus-
D20 and not
it's-
20,
yeah.
so it wouldn't. Yep.
For the
Okay.
first one, right?
Yep, and then
Okay.
the one on the right.
That feels
Let's
almost
see.
akin to rolling another nat 20 after Silvery Barbs.
Well, mind you, he just rolled
the other one was a
exactly
7.
twice against me. Okay, so yeah, that one fails.
So one on the right fails, one on the left succeeds.
I did something.
Everyone's proud when they just do something.
So that one's frightened.
Oh, frightened.
for one
All right.
minute. Yeah.
We love it. We love to see
It all
it.
takes extra necrotic damage, and it equals my level, so it'll take 5 extra necrotic damage. when it
Okay.
takes damage. And then I'm gonna go ahead and swing at that one with my long sword.
All right.
And then because I'm making the attack action, I'm gonna swing twice.
Okay. Yep, agreed.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn,
Whoa!
dude.
Nat ones. That's
All right,
do it.
well,
It's not even
I
just
know
the
that
that one. It was
doesn't
all
hit.
Getting
19.
bullied. Chat,
dude. Second one. An 18.
Get in the comments.
18 will hit. Yes.
Get in the
Okay.
comments.
Get in the comments.
And then, what'd you
Love
say
you,
the best?
Brennan.
How do you roll damage with this? Wait, oh, right there. I can click on damage.
Mhm.
Okay.
This is why JD is coming up with his digital dice thing.
So 8 plus the extra 5 necrotic.
All right, so 13. All right.
Very nice.
Oh
reference-
well,
Yeah.
actually it's 8, but then I have modifiers, so it's 13 plus 5. Because look at
Ooh.
the 13, because
Got
I
it, yep.
have
Yep.
where is it? Dueling.
So JD, friend of the stream, -2 charisma. Go check him out. He's great. Great channel. We've been on there doing charity stuff. He's developing a dice tray that will read dice, and so you can physically roll dice, but it will show up in your BTT.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
I love
That's
that.
fun.
Yeah.
I like
he
that.
tags us a lot, so yeah.
I definitely prefer my dice. I love. My wife got me this dice tray that
We
is
love Jeanette. We love to see
just
it.
incredible, and like it's all magnetic and folds up and stuff. So like, yeah, it's
Can you
very.
tell Jeanette to text me?
Dude.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna need the link for that too.
You got
See,
it.
I'm actually
Sponsor-
developing these dice that always roll a 20.
Oh.
They're really special.
Oh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well,
And then Chase, I'm gonna go ahead and bonus action just remanifest my echo behind. Like, can I? How can I mark? Yeah,
Just click
yeah,
and
like
hold.
right there.
But I can also
Yeah.
see your cursor.
And then that'll end my turn.
All right. Sounds good. Now the one that is fully surrounded and confused and hurt is just going to
And afraid.
and well, the other one's afraid.
Oh,
This
the
is
other
the mind whipped one.
Got it.
It is going to just and go straight up, which means, oh my god, all of you get attacks of opportunity because it's trying to run at this point. So, Uvril, Grandel, Charles, 2 guards, and the poisoned elf all need to make attacks of opportunity on this thing.
I'm gonna go grab real dice. Can I go do that real quick,
Yeah,
Chase?
of course.
Okay.
Always support real dice.
I rolled 22, hit for 7
Got it.
with a hand crossbow attack.
Yep.
I almost thought that Dominic's dice were like in his in like he's playing
In the
with them.
headrest?
Yeah.
No, I just broke my headrest because that's the third less than 5 that I've rolled.
He just throws it on the ground.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Okay, so we got a hit from Charles for 7 damage. We got a hit from Grandel. Go ahead and roll your damage. And then did Uvril? I don't think Uvril did his yet.
I thought
No,
thought
he
Uvril
did, and he
rolled-
missed.
Yeah, he rolled
And
a
that's
9.
why
Oh,
he
oh,
asked
got
to-
it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
Uvril missed. Grandel, how's your how's that damage? Oh, I see. Coming in.
Oh, there you go.
That was a real cool spin on that.
So-
Minus 2. Why do you have mine 2?
I don't know. So it should be 5 plus, but plus,
Plus
yep, plus
3.
3, and then the rage
Plus 2 from the rage.
or
Yeah.
10.
So 10. That okay. Excellent. Take it. This thing is not feeling it. Okay, guards real quick. That is going
I hope
to
one of the
be-
guards gets the kill.
Very, very, yeah. When Matt had an NPC, Matt Mercer had an NPC that got the kill, and the entire group was like, "Just say it, just say it." He's like, "How do I want to do this? This feels wrong."
Oh, wrong dice. This is the versatile roll.
It was a pretty significant kill too. It wasn't even like. I'm pretty sure it was like one of the mini big bads. Like, yeah.
As you all, unless this last one crits, it's not a, definitely not a kill. One second. Yeah, okay. It definitely hurts. You all, as this thing leaps up, everybody just slashes toward it. The crossbow bolt goes through the air wild, and it is going to move 40 feet this way. And that is its turn. The elf that Charles, you push back, and then as this thing's flying away, you get your crossbow bolt off into it. It swings once, and then he clocks the other ones, and is going to catch up with them, and they are rushing toward the gate. You see, Ari, they move just past you behind the gate, and you can see now that the elf being carried, like I said, is badly torn up, and she is unconscious. Just like you see her like kind of reacting a little bit, so like she's very much not dead, but not looking good.
Could I use like a free action to like usher them to Charles's carriage, like to tell them, just say like get in the carriage?
Yeah, you can. Sure.
Whatever carriage, and I describe it in point. Yep.
As they're running, one of the guards like turns and starts to run with them, and as he's catching up, he says, "Wait, I'll get help. Which guards do you? Let me get a cleric. I'll help you." Ari, give me a perception check.
Oh, Perception, not insight.
Perception, please.
Be good. That corner doesn't like us.
If it makes you feel better, you can always pick up the dice after. It doesn't let you roll a new number, but you can play with the dice.
Just throw.
I like doing that on low rolls. On an 8, okay. Nothing extra to see out of this situation. The other guards, a couple more arrows fly in at the frightened one, and one of the guards runs up and stabs at it with a spear. This guard too, who is also swinging a... Oh, he's got a halberd. That's a reach weapon, yeah? Yeah. He does... He's staying right there. Well, I guess he could even... It doesn't matter. The two of them swing, get a bunch of damage off on this thing. That will bring us to the top of round 3 with Almond.
Ooh, that's me.
That's
okay,
you.
Okay. So how do I move the spell that I have currently? I was gonna move Moonbeam on top of this other wyvern that's next to everyone.
Good question. I think I can move it.
Okay.
By going
I'm just gonna move it on top. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna do that, and then it's gonna make that con save.
Got it.
And then it has to get a 15.
It got a 14.
Nice.
Right.
Right,
Frightened
so
doesn't affect con saves, right? It's just movement and attacks.
Yeah. Their ability
it's
to
just
attack
movement
and
attacks.
movement.
Cool. Okay.
So,
yeah. Go ahead and roll that damage.
Ooh, 12 damage.
12 damage.
And then my bonus action, I'm gonna go ahead and move just right about here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and look over at Charles, and then as a bonus action, I can cast Healing Word. So I'm gonna say, "You got this, man," and I'm gonna do healing word on him.
Go for it.
All right. So I'm going to target Charles. And then normal. You heal what? Oh no, you heal 5. Okay.
Most of my intestines kind of just pull themselves back in, and I'm feeling quite a bit better.
They pull themselves back in.
Yeah, just like reverse,
You hear the-
reverse in there. Subtitles just read squelching lightly.
Squelching.
Oh, thank you for that.
I hate that.
Thank
We-
that.
We needed that.
So yeah, you heal 5.
All right. Any other movement on your turn, Almond?
I think. You know what? I'll get into the action a little bit. I'll move right up next to it.
Okay, you say so.
I'm feeling a little cocky.
That brings us to Arianwen, followed by Charles.
I'm gonna probably. So I'm 60 feet away from that one. Should have been thinking about this. I apologize. Oh, what? We really liked Tasha's Mind Whip, so maybe that'll help again. In DM speak, the one that is flying away, how hurt did that one?
It's looking pretty. They're both looking pretty similarly worse for wear. And the
Okay.
one that's flying away is like on the run.
So what I'm going to do, I'm having trouble figuring out where, 120 feet. We love it. We love to see it. Love to do it. I'm just going to magic missile all 3 darts at it.
Go for it. Oh man. All right.
I flip it myself. I'm still targeting it. You must target a token before rolling an attack. Well, I don't even have to roll an attack because it's magic missile.
Yeah.
There we go.
If you have it targeted, it
Ooh, I
should
could-
just target it to auto roll the damage.
I'm thinking of upcasting it.
Go for it. That's
Leave
There's-
not alive.
There's no risk. You can't miss.
Exactly.
No
Let's-
witnesses. Kill it.
Let's just let's just, because
Oh!
she's not going to show her hand. So that was a 12, but we decided that I magic surge on a 1.
Yep.
Okay, so I just press damage.
Oh,
Did it roll all of them?
It only rolled one. Wait.
It rolled all over.
Yeah, I
It
think
looks like it
did,
rolled
'cause
1d4 for total of all 5.
Okay.
Oh, interesting, but it only rolled a 1, and then no, I don't like that. You
I don't
should
like
roll
that either.
5d4 plus 5, not 1d4 times 5. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
better. So 8
There we go.
plus 5, right?
Is what you said. Woo! 13. Yes?
How's she
Yep.
looking?
This thing, as it's flying away, these 5 hit it, and you can see like this thing is like barely staying airborne as it flies and flaps away, and it is screeching in very much like a hurt animalistic fashion.
Shit, he died.
There's a part of me that there's a part of me that wants to go whole ham and just quicken spell again.
No witnesses.
But I think instead of quickening spell again, I think not that it's a bonus action. I'm gonna start moving with the people, like with the refugees that are coming, or the hurt elves that are coming in.
You got it.
So I guess.
Yeah. I will. I'm happy to. Yeah, if you want to use your movement, and I'll just have them basically move with you at this point.
Oh, okay. So then I would move. I don't. Do we have something for where the cart is? For the carriage?
I can draw a shape. We don't have
That'd be
a
great.
token for it. It is roughly. Oh, it's not that big.
They're gonna get blood all over the carriage.
It is roughly there.
It's not even Nick Grendel's carriage. Is he yelling that? I don't know how much movement that was. I'm assuming that was... I was here, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Cool.
Yeah. Making a mad dash for it. Do I have an object interact at all, or...
What do you want to do?
Like, do I notice... Because in our session 0, you said something about them having, like, symbols of, of Sehanine.
At this point, I would say running with them. If you're like looking at them to try to assess things, you do in fact, even on your passive perception, you do in fact notice that they appear to try to have covered most things. Like you can't see any like exposed tattoos or anything like that, but you do see jewelry that has the kind of upturned crescent moon strung like a bow that you would recognize to be the holy symbol of Sehanine.
So I think what I'm gonna do, flavor-wise, if I still have my Melora symbol, I think I'm gonna flash it to them and like gesture for them to take off their necklaces by like pulling on my own that I have.
Okay.
If that makes sense, because it's not like I can hide it for them, but
Yeah, okay. They kind of in the excited, frantic, you see the guy kind of the guy who's carrying one kind of reach his arm and tuck the symbol that he's got, and he looks at her and kind of like, because he can't reach the necklace she's wearing, he kind of like angles her towards you so that you can help kind of hide that for the moment. And he kind of says, and this guard is like still running after you, like, I'll help, I'll get a clinic. And they kind of look back, look at you, thank you, and keep running.
Good. I know that was a weird turn, but thank you for indulging me.
All good. And I need to move the screen here. Okay. Just zoom out our VTT display to kind of show everything, so you can see the rough carriage marker at the top. You can see Ari running with everybody, and should be good. All right.
Chasing.
Next is Charles.
Okay, it's time for the fighter nonsense that everybody played fighters for. So I'm gonna do a pot shot at the dragon afar here.
Okay.
Nice.
19 hit.
19 will hit. Yeah.
Ugh. Not enough.
Okay. It's not quite enough. You watch the crossbow bolt just connect as it's flying away, and it off to the side, but it's still just barely hanging on.
To burn a superiority die. 18 hit.
18 hits. Yep.
Nice. Come on, baby.
Fighters are not vanilla.
That'll do it.
Vanilla.
You take it out.
Yes.
That
No
second
witnesses.
crossbow bolt, and again, arcs through the air and just hits it, and you watch it kind of tumble, and you hear as it crashes into what? Hard to tell, but something beneath it, and it is dead.
Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and action surge.
All right.
And then I'm going to select this one here. I'm going to make 2 rapier attacks.
Did you practice saying that in the mirror, Leroy?
I did. So that's for 11.
Nice, yep.
Sheesh.
It's because it's not hitting the corner. That is
One's
my
for
conspiracy
7.
theory.
And then as a bonus action for my crossbow expertise, I get to make a light crossbow attack here.
God
Yep.
dang, man.
Yep, 25 will hit. Go ahead.
So that is 19, 29 total damage against it.
Charles Brinsworth, how do you want to do this?
Woo!
Oh, I want to do yeah. So as I'm kind of running, I take 2 pot shots at the other dragon. I don't even look to see if it died. I definitely know it did. I come over to the other dragon, rapier just shunk. And then the last stab, can I use it to like push myself up and just like in the back of the head with the light crossbow?
Yeah, absolutely. You one slash, almost like flip the rapier around, stab, and then use it to climb and right in the head with the crossbow, and the thing just collapses, and you kind of land on top of it and look around at the chaos that has now
Was that the
somewhat
victory
settled
sound?
around you. It is the
I
victory
love
sound.
the victory sound. It makes me so happy.
And this thing is now dead. As you all collect yourselves from this combat, we're going to go ahead and take a short intermission
Wonderful.
before the end of our thing. So we will see all of you back here in about 10 minutes. Thank you. And we're back. All right. Welcome back to Pocket Bard playing Warriors of Sehanine. We have just... Oh, and by the way, as I was doing all the research for this, I have been pronouncing Sehanine wrong the entire time that I've been reading it. I've been saying Sehanine. I've heard all these other things. I learned, I don't know how official this is, but I learned that Sehanine is the intended pronunciation. So, fun fact for all of those pedantic enough to care. Okay, so we are back. Our party just fought off some wyverns who were apparently chasing these elves toward the city of Rexentrum, coming from who knows where. The elves showed up badly beaten and torn up, one of them barely conscious, in and out. As the battle was commencing, Arianwen kind of ushered them toward Charles's carriage to try to get them to safety, presumably back at the Brinsworth Manor. From here, the party the dust is settling. People are, even the guards, kind of licking wounds a little bit, trying to figure out what happened, trying to make sure people are okay, because essentially 2 dragons attacked the city. So you all are at the gates. The elves have been kind of ushered. They're essentially entering the cart at this point. What are the rest of you doing?
I think
I'd like to
Almond
sprint
is
to
going
the
to...
injured.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just sprinting to the injured. Nothing else. Just sprinting to the injured, trying to get them into the wagon, essentially.
Okay.
Almond, he's going to do the same, but he'll make eye contact with Charles and say, well, thank Krellin, you're on our side. Jeez. And then
I'm
he's
just kind of like, just all urgency, no words, just beckoning.
Yeah. I'll immediately go up to a couple of the other soldiers there, and I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of spell 1 slots, or first level spell slots. And I'm going to healing word as many as I can.
Got it.
I can heal it. I'm going to do it 3 more times.
They graciously accept your healing, certainly. And
so,
Charles, to clarify, are you sprinting toward injured guards, or are you sprinting toward the elves that have kind of booked it toward
the elves that are
vehicle?
Hopefully heading towards the carriage with Arielman.
Got it. All right. Uvril, what are you up to at this point in time?
I was kind of following just a hair behind to go help them kind of up off the ground, pick their things up and usher them over to. I was going to use healing hands, but it seems that they've been healed by Almond, so I'll just follow and kind of in passing, I'll look at Charles and adequate fight.
And to clarify, Almond has healed a bunch of the guards. The elves are still looking pretty beat up. The ones that are heading toward the carriage.
Yeah,
so,
I kind of just like, as you say that to me, I kind of grab you and I'm just like, I'm trying to sprint with you.
one of the guards kind of clocks you doing that and recognizing your status says, sir, we not to bother, but if you need we can get a cleric to take care of them. They look injured. I don't know. They said that they were chased by. We don't necessarily want that in the city. They could bring more. Please, if you don't need to take care of them, I can get help.
I just kind of am just like hurried breathing from what I just did. I didn't even miss a beat. Just, well, come with.
I'm not sure I can. Look, I'll get a cleric.
You're doing more talking than working. Let's go.
You can leave them here if you want. We'll take care of it. We'll get them out of the city. And he runs off. You definitely get the sense that he is like they brought dragons. Let's get this filth. Like we don't
out.
Deal with this in Rexentrum. This is.
Yeah, I'm like, we just killed the dragons. They're
Well, they know we're going to the manor now.
More.
Could be.
Charles, is there anywhere else we can bring them besides the manor?
I mean, I'm not sure we'd bring them anywhere but the manor. I don't know.
Sorry,
where
my
they'd
critical
put them.
my critical role mind just thought of the one tavern that they had the. Never mind. Go on.
We can take care of them best at the manor. I think. I'm not concerned
So we
about
gotta
what
be
prepared
prepared for
image.
Okay.
As you were loading them up, Grandel, what are you up to in the aftermath of this fight?
So Grandel, after quickly taking a few samples of the wyverns and adding it to his bag,
We like it.
is like visibly of a totally different demeanor. If somebody were to look at him, they probably wouldn't assume he was Grandel the Gruff. So he looks like a totally changed person. And, that's something new to Almond. And he's just looks like he's just kind of glowing and following Almond around and basically just talking about like how he hasn't done that kind of thing in years and just talking like positively about how the rage took over and just how incredible it felt.
I feel like
how his
Almond
arthritis
definitely
didn't hurt anymore.
Almond definitely would crack a joke by saying like, who are you and what have you done with Grandel?
I imagine he looks a little bit younger.
I also like that the rage, like the feeling of anger, caused the feeling of joy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you all gather back in the carriage. These elves look very grateful for your help, but very worried. And during the ride back, they're mostly regarding you with caution. But the woman who's been mostly unconscious up until now starts to fade in to kind of a dim awareness, and she speaks in a broken, dry voice. Silent Fayin, where are you? And
Overall, can you
kind of
help our elvish friends? Is anybody? We have magic amongst us.
Yeah, I go ahead and I'm gonna cast Healing Hands. Let's see. So,
Is the one still poisoned? by the
While
way?
you're mathing, Chase, can you repeat that? Silent what?
Sylin, Sylin. Not that you would know the. It's a name.
SYLLYN. I heard
Mhm.
silent. Anyway, go on.
Faen, Faen.
Uh-huh.
Where are you?
That part I heard. Thank you.
No problem.
So it's just 5 HP, Chase.
5 HP. Got it.
Yep.
As you reach out and start to cast that, they kind of look at each other. The two men kind of look at each other, and like it almost looks like they're bracing themselves as you do this, but they're letting you heal her. And as she kind of comes back, she looks around, seeing where she is. What happened? Where am I? Who are you? And she, excuse me, looks up. Alar, who are they? At the one who is carrying them, and he kind of speaks. They're here to help us. I hope. Thank you. Where are we going?
We are going to my family's manor, where we can hopefully properly take care of you and keep you safe for the time being. The guards weren't exceptionally happy to let you in, but I'm more than happy to take you into my home.
Are the three of you alone?
We wouldn't have. I'm sorry. We're desperate. Yes, we're alone, but we're not the only ones. We the one who was poisoned. Oh, excuse me. I have them switched. So that was the one who was poisoned who said that. The one who is carrying her up to this point has not spoken, and he says, "We were attacked. I swear to it on whomever you'd wish, a black dragon. There were many of us, but almost all fell. The three of us and 2 children were all that were left. Silent and Faen, her children. I tried. I couldn't get to them.
Where are they now?
I swear we wouldn't be here if we weren't desperate. They're... Excuse me, DM. Need throat clearing. They're back at our... I don't know what you'd call it. Our keep. Deep within the Pearlbow wilderness, the forest. We normally keep to ourselves, but a dragon, we couldn't, and as you could see, there was more than one. They chased us. It's been days since we've been attacked, and like I said, things were collapsing. I didn't know where they were, and by the time I had to get out, but I think the children are still alive in there, and
About how many days' journey is that from here?
On foot, we traveled through the night. It was probably 3 days.
Just to mention, Chase, I also casting Laying on Hands. They probably would have been a little off-put because I realized I never took off my necrotic shroud.
No.
So this ominous dark glare.
I love it.
Yeah, skeletal wings. You know,
Right.
he lays out this almost black energy.
Then
Not
they
the
definitely
radiant that you'd be used to.
they definitely would have been wary, but also feeling like, well, you said you were going to help, but also we're outnumbered. Like, even if we can't, they're just kind of at this point, frozen in shock and fear and just trying to process and get the words out. Yeah.
I'm sure they also would have thought, that guy can't really do any damage anyway, so we shouldn't be too worried.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
As I see like they're unsettled and as they're talking, I kind of like you see my wings kind of curl in and then my eyes go back to normal.
From there, it's a fairly short journey directly back to Brinsworth Manor, and you all kind of find I don't know, like a drawing room of some kind to like gather in and be able to talk. And
lay her dramatically down on one of those laying couches.
And
Yeah,
and she,
Jesus.
despite the extra healing, she almost immediately falls asleep. She is exhausted.
Yeah,
and you
the
can
second
see,
we
like,
get in,
the missing arm wound, like she's
Oh
just
yeah, she's missing an arm.
she's missing.
I'm shouting for servants to come to like get aid, to bring towels, to bring cloths, to just go fetch trustworthy clerics. Go bring allies. Essentially,
Did we catch her name? I'm sorry, Chase.
You did not. The only name you've heard so far was Aelar, Aelar, and that is the one who had the sword and was poisoned and was fighting.
And we've heard Silent and Fayin, which Alar told us were her children.
Yes. Yeah, so servants are running. When you mentioned a trustworthy cleric, Matthias kind of says, "Sire, I don't know if you..." and he kind of takes you to the side and points out that you can now see all of them are wearing necklaces with the kind of upturned crescent moon strung like a bow with the arrows that is the holy symbol of Sehanine, the Moonweaver. And upon clocking that, you would know this is not a deity that is allowed to be worshipped in the city, and even wearing those symbols would be considered a crime. And when you mention a trustworthy cleric, like, he kind of gives you the impression of even the ones we trust, you may not want to, like, that could be really politically harmful for you if that got out that you're sheltering these people.
I'm fully aware of that. What do you...
Can I...
Sire, rest, I think, and...
Carry on, Win, yes.
Can I clock this, Chase?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to say, Matthias, get over yourself. It's just a piece of jewelry, and ask them if they're okay having us hold on to and hide them so that we can get them proper.
Indeed.
Regardless of affiliation, they are welcome here. You know that. You know that about this.
Of course. And
I
very
rigid.
I only mean to, of course, our staff
protecting.
Trusted.
Rigid.
I only mean to suggest maybe rest is the proper remedy in time, more than the magics of the gods that are so tightly controlled.
Can we treat a missing arm and poison here?
I see your point. Yes, I'll.
Is there anybody you can think of that?
Yes, I'll see who we can fetch. Indeed. And he
of course, safety is number.
Maybe a medic that's going to go out to the front soon, so that when he gets it out to the front, they get sent out to the front. Think creatively, Matthias.
Quick question: How would I think a bribe would go in this situation?
Like bribing a cleric?
Yeah, I just shout after Matthias, like, bring me a bribable one.
Yeah, it could be done. Okay. Yeah. I think the thing to know is that in politics like this, everything, even a bribe, if there's a secret, there are favors. And the more secrets, the more unbalanced the scales get in terms of who owes who what and who's got leverage against whom.
Okay.
It becomes a complicated chess game very quickly, but putting together certain pieces,
Oh.
you can probably get a cleric who can come help with some things. And
I go
deal
over
with
and
the
just
politics later.
ask, like, the holy symbols. Could we keep those somewhere safe for the time being? I'm sure you know the state of this city and the outlook upon those.
I will say, are you asking? Well, the woman's asleep. There's the man with the sword, Alar, and then there's the unnamed one. Which of
Who was the one that
them-
was fighting next to me that I bumped out of the way?
Yeah, Alar. Okay.
I asked Alar, yeah.
He would say, "We, the protection of the Moonweaver is very important to us. I don't know that that's a good idea. If it's
Does
all
it
right."
have to be on your person? Can it be in the room still? Can I just put them in a box on a table so that we can all maintain essentially safety here?
Make an insight check for me.
Ooh.
Also, I'd like to point out, isn't the Emperor quite the zealot as well?
Yeah. Well,
So yeah, go on.
no, you know more than I do about the politics of the Dwendalian Empire. To be honest,
I know. I'm trying to look it up, but it's there's some. I think what I'm trying to say for Leroy's benefit is there is some zealotry also to the people in the Dwendalian Empire that would be doing this. So like bribes are
Sure.
good, but that doesn't always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's. Yeah, I rolled a 22 on insight.
Okay. You get the sense anytime you're talking about like putting the symbols away, not only is he touching it, he's like pressing it to him as if to like stop you from grabbing it. That's how much he is.
I back up a little bit. Arianwin, you know more
Sorry.
of this than I do.
I'm
Can you
gonna
help me?
once again take out my Melora symbol, and say that our goddesses work in tandem, and they're here regardless of the physical manifestations of them. And I put mine. He said in a box, so I hand mine to Charles.
I have a really ornate like onyx box just kind of sitting on a table nearby that's got a lock on it.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Yeah. Oh, that was my.
Then we'll go
that
from
was
there.
my. That was my.
Could he roll with
But no,
advantage
I
on
am
how
still
cool the
charisma
box
based.
looks?
I am still charisma
Or
based.
if you'd like, each of you can roll persuasion flat. Up to you.
I'm very, very
Persuasion with
persuasive.
advantage.
Incredibly persuasive.
I have a +8.
You're far more persuasive.
Don't worry, I got this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. He kind of loosens a bit, looks at the other one, and nods and says, "Indeed, they are with us, even without their symbols." And he reluctantly, very reluctant.
I let him put it in the box.
That's
Yeah. And he'll go and take hers as well, and the other guy will take his off.
I close it. I lock it. Nearby desk. Maybe can I roll like a luck to see if there's like a hidden compartment in that, or would there just be one?
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure you have hidden compartments.
Kind of just fawns it, and like a little thing comes out, and I just place it in it and close it up, and just make it look like it wasn't disturbed at all.
I'm sure you, the Alar again, kind of looking at his companion and looking back at the woman sleeping. I'm sure you have questions, and if you don't mind, after seeing you fight those dragon creatures and what you say about the city, I think you might be perfectly poised to help us if you are up for it. We'd really like to rescue the children and recover some things. Obviously, we're not strong enough to do it, but Well, I'm hesitant to ask. I'm not sure if it's appropriate to ask for help from you.
Can Almond? He's going to kind of flutter over to the bowl of almonds that he hasn't really touched yet. And he's going to pick them up and saunter them over to him, and then he's gonna say, or he's gonna look back over at Grendel and say, I mean, I don't want to volunteer, at least my, or at least our smaller group, but I think we can help out a little bit. And he'll lift up the bowl of almonds to him. He has to stretch like his full body to.
Yeah, he takes an almond, and it looks like he doesn't know what to do with it.
I'll take
Grendel-
one, and then I'll look at him in the eye, and I'll eat one. And then
He mirrors you. Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, and Grandel kind of shouts out over, you eat those.
He eats it
Grendel
and is tasting an almond for the first time.
Feel free to have as much as you want. They're free.
Like that scene in
Over
Ratatouille,
at
just-
Charles.
I'm just leaning against the desk, just smiling. Just
It's come to my attention that I have an herbalism kit, so even if it's just for flavor, I don't care if there's any rolls to
Yeah.
it. Can I use my herbalism kit to sort of like fend off, but not heal the poison
Yeah.
in the arm and the yeah?
Absolutely.
So that's
Yeah.
what she's doing. Hmm.
Nice.
well,
Yeah,
I
her
think
eyes
that-
keep darting up and down to Charles and making eye contact and going back down.
Think-
Go on, Almond.
I think Almond is
Something
going
brought us here
to kind
together.
of chime up
yeah.
and say, like, do we want to, I guess, discuss plans now, or do we want to take a moment to rest and recover? Maybe we can get everybody at least to I'll kind of gesture over to the woman on the couch and say a little bit more of a conscious state before we continue.
I think resting would be a smart, and also a celebration is in order.
The one who has not spoken much up to this point kind of speaks up at this point, and he says, there's not a lot of time for rest. Those children, they need rescuing. We don't have time to celebrate.
Well, then we need all the information you can manage to give us on how
I
to
don't
get
think we
there
can leave
safely.
until the
and-
morning anyway. What time is it out of character?
Yeah, it's like sunset, maybe just after sunset at this point.
Mhm.
We have time for dinner and a night's sleep before we depart. We can't leave right now.
First thing, though.
Indeed. Yes.
One of your companions is probably going to sleep until the morning.
And I'll give him some almonds too.
Are we taking them with us? Oh.
That would be
think
something to discuss.
You definitely you get
We don't
the
know how to
sense
get
that-
there.
Yeah, okay. We'll get there. Yeah.
Sorry, Chase. Go on.
You were gonna ask something. Ariane one.
No, that was my question.
Got it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
Grandel
at this-
kind of leans over to Almond and whispers in his ear, says like, in my experience, the people who say we're trying to save the children usually have some ulterior motive.
Okay, Alex.
I have a lot of experience. What do you mean?
It's a
I mean, I'll take your word for it, but I think we
you'll
should see this
understand
one
when
out at
you're
least a
older.
little
I'll
bit.
understand when you're older.
Am
When
I
you're
close
my
enough
age.
to hear him, Chase?
Yeah, I mean you're definitely all in this room, like even a private conversation, it's a quiet room, so you would have to be really whispering to
I
don't think we
should trust these guys.
I'm at the desk recording the events of today, like letters to send home to family, like events to maybe, I don't know, whoever's in charge, kind of at the city of just recorded events of how the guards behaved, how the wyverns got felled, like all.
I'm gonna
Just
be
making
kind of
people
perched
get to these.
behind Charles at the window that I was at once before, kind of just watching outside.
the woman kind of wakes in her sleep a little and turns and like starts to fall a little bit and is not able to brace herself with her arm that is missing, and you can tell like it throws her off and kind of jolts her awake, and Alar kind of leaps off of the seat he's in to go help her. Leah, please rest. Lucan, don't be... We've asked them for help. They deserve answers. I think it's best if we start from the beginning. And he starts to explain. We call ourselves the Warriors of Sehanine, the Moonweaver. Of course, we don't...
I'm sorry.
He said it, yep.
Ruined. Good call. Over, go home.
That was great. I love that.
Ridiculous.
We don't
I'm so sorry.
often interact with outsiders. I apologize for Lucan's harshness. Last week, our scouts spotted a troop of orcs headed from the east, presumably from the foothills of the Dun Rocks. They were a hunting party of some sort, ravaging the wildlife, and headed straight for our secluded settlement. We met with leadership and briefly decided we needed to confront them, to turn them away, to try to dissuade them from our part of the forest. It didn't go so well. They attacked, and so in kind, we met with as much lethal force as we could, as much as was necessary to drive them away and protect our home. Sorry, DM buffering, because I think I told you the wrong
Loading
name.
screen. Loading screen. Did you know that Bless and Bane both use D4s to add or subtract from rolls?
Almond is
okay.
listening to this.
I gave you the wrong
slowly
name.
Eating
Fiven.
almonds just out of the bowl.
Fiven is the one who was being harsh, not Lucan, because as Alar now tells you, Leah's husband, Fiven, was killed in the battle with the orcs.
Oh, Leah.
Poor guy.
Wow, I cannot speak right now. Lucan is Leah's husband, who was killed in the battle with the orcs. Fiven
so
is in
Fiven
the
is
room with you right now.
Fiven is in the room with us. Okay.
Lucan
the
was Leah's
lifeless.
husband who was killed. Fiven is in the room.
I get the feeling that this is just Charles like thinking back, like, wait, no, and then crossing out what he wrote, and then
I'm
I just
Semi-
throw that page into the fireplace and just like grumble a little bit, like.
I'm semi-happy Lucan is dead because I was about to start a conspiracy theory that he was a lycanthrope because he has Luke in his name.
Right. Then several of our group were injured. There were only 18 of us in total, and coming back, we were down to 15, having lost Lucan and several others. When we came back to mourn and remember, a noise from the sky. The dragon attacked. Already, we were weak from the fight with the orcs, and most of the rest of us fell in the fight with the dragon, and we were forced to flee. Fiven, well, and he speaks up, I was on my way to warn the setting sun. That is what we call Alar and Leah. They are our leaders, autumn and winter, as we call them. I was on my way to warn them that the children were trapped, and in the fight, the dragon collapsed. Most of the... We had to get out. You see, we did injure the dragon, but we couldn't go back in. We were too weak. We had to run. And after 3 days of traveling through the forest, through the night, helped by the spirits and the divine guidance, and he kind of reaches up and feels that the necklace is gone and kind of looks over at where you put them away. With the divine guidance of the Moonweaver, we...
That's why they're traveling at night.
Made it through. And, well, here we are. Our home, it's deep in the forest. And I fear the children, while protected by Sehanine, still need help. Dragons are powerful.
Tell me about it.
I mean, Grandel is kind of sitting there a little incredulous. Like, it's not really adding up in his head. Like, if they've been running for days, those kids are dead, or they fought off the dragon. He's just like, he's down for all of this, but he's a little skeptical and like incredulous just about the whole situation, and a little dazed from rage. But
Chase, give me the year again.
I think it was 853.
853.
So with Grandel's, I guess, like teaching of Almond, he's kind of like taking this not with like, or kind of a grain of salt. Can he, or can I make an insight check to kind of determine if he's like telling me the full truth, or if he's, you know, kind of
Absolutely
not telling me something?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Insight. Oh, that would be a 23.
23. Excellent.
Noise.
So, yeah, on a 23, you'll see that Alar, you sense genuine concern from him, and he's emanating kind of the aura of a leader who feels responsible for his people.
Yes.
And he keeps looking at Leah, and you can see him like feeling the pain of, I mean, these children and the rest of the people who've died, they are part of their tribe, but you can see he is very worried about her because she's been in and out of consciousness. Those are her children, and based on her waking up, she doesn't necessarily even know at this point that they had to leave them. She's like, so he's like, this is very tough. We are desperate.
Mm-hmm.
On a 23, Fiven is not telling you the whole story.
Okay.
Your spidey senses tingle just a little. It's not it's not like a this guy, you know, it's just a little tingle of like, he seems he's closing off.
For now, Almond is going to kind of take that into consideration. I think he's going to wait till we're kind of like, you know, together as a party and like a little bit more private before he kind of opens about that. So he'll keep that to himself for now. But he'll just kind of squint his eyes a little bit and okay, bud. Okay.
Can we pause and do a TLDR for a second?
Yeah.
So
In fact,
the elves live in this like keepy place. Orcs came. They let the orcs in, and from
No.
within.
So, their scouts saw this roving orc band
Yeah.
who was hunting. They seemed like they were on a path to destruction. They went out to go confront them and try to turn them away because they were like, if these guys do have bad intentions and get too close, this is dangerous. Let's meet them where they are. The orcs attacked them, killed 3 of them, and injured a bunch of them. But they were able to turn the orcs away. When the elves came back to their keep, that's when the dragon attacked. And because everybody was weak from the battle, the dragon was able to wipe out a bunch of them.
Yikes.
Why would a dragon want to wipe out a bunch of elves? It's not like, would they have that many treasures? She says out loud.
Does that change it?
If you say that out loud, Aelin says,
like what elves, right? They're what elves?
Right. We have some things, but not indeed not a lot. We've been so caught up trying to survive, we didn't even, I don't know.
Any magical artifacts of sort hidden away?
I mean, some things, and he kind of like slightly draws his sword to show you. My sword is. Oh, please! And he sheathes it away. Alar.
Alar, yeah.
My sword is enchanted. It's Moonpetal is its name, and it's a blessed weapon, certainly. Most of the magical items and artifacts we have are practical in nature. We live simple lives.
Grandel kind of chimes in. Why do you live all the way out in the forest? The cities is where all the good food is. What are you hiding from?
Grendel, you can't just ask people why they live in the forest.
The forest isn't that bad. I mean,
at this point, Fivin, gotta get these names right. Fivin kind of looks at you and says, "We live a secluded life because we like it, and the deity that we worship is not accepted everywhere, as you may know from being around here."
Got a good point.
So go to Iman. Why here? Why not? Oh my god, the continent is escaping me. Taldore.
We historically, this is where we've been. We don't
Makes
just
sense.
leave our home.
Makes sense. And that's Fibin saying that?
Yes,
Okay. Jen is now suspicious.
it's Fivin.
Ariadne knows nothing, but
When you propose to us,
that's
we
a
go
long
back
commitment.
to this keep and rescue
Yes.
these children.
Ravenglade Keep is the name of it. I don't know if that. I know that doesn't help. I just, please. We don't have a lot right now, and if it is riches or treasure, you can see like he doesn't even really have much, but he says, anything you find, you're welcome to keep.
So like mid him talking, I'm gonna like cut him off and say, enough. I'm in. I'll help you.
Alman will kind of stand up and say, I think that we can do what we can to assist you guys. I mean, it seems you guys have been through enough troubles. It's about time something, good kind of happens. So he'll grab his staff and say, well, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think I'm good to go at first light.
Grandel chimes in. He's you had me at Black Dragon, but you have my axe.
And you have my staff.
And you have your brother. very end of a meme that was not brought up. Arianwen's gonna hold prolonged eye contact with Charles and wait to see what he says.
It's going to be so much paperwork to get me out of this house. I want you to understand that. Who's going
You
to
saying
do all
that
the paperwork?
to Ari, or are you saying that to the elves?
I'm saying that to Almond.
To Almond.
Almond's
Oh, okay.
like tugging on my heartstrings here.
I mean, I don't want to like throw Matthias under the bus here, but I mean, doesn't he kind of help you out a lot? Couldn't
He
he?
seems to have earned it.
He seems. I mean, couldn't he
Sassy
kind of help out a little bit?
Suppose he can take the family's wax seal and stuff.
I mean, if it's going to be a problem, I can always lend a hand if you do need it.
Just tell
But
him it's a new internship.
a new He's been around far too long to believe that.
I'm just imagining these three people who have like almost died and their kids are like probably dead, and they're like, "Oh, I have so much paperwork. Oh God."
I gotta file it by Monday, man. It's just sorry.
Yeah, Uvril kind of
You cannot just
proddingly
leave the
looks at,
politics when you have duties here, but I
he
suppose
proddingly looks at Charles and go, "Oh, I'd hate for you to have to shoot your bow again."
Oh. I go over to Almond and I just like lean down and whisper like, "I'll do anything to get out of this house. Don't worry. I just have to play it off like this." Oh, paperwork. Drudgery.
No.
I can sit at the desk and I start doing paperwork.
With the affirmative from Charles, the elves, it's really Alar. Fiven looks distracted and Leah's asleep. Alar looks to Ariane when everybody else is...
She gives a silent nod, like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like that silent, like, camaraderie-ishness
Yeah.
words.
And you recognize he's giving you the look of like trust and recognition that you saw like flash a little bit when you showed him your holy symbol. And he just says, "Thank you. Thank you."
So Almond will kind of perk up a little bit and say, "So, Charles, do you have any rooms where everyone can stay, or shall we go find an inn to retire for the evening?"
Well, I think we should eat first, and then, of course, there's plenty of space. I ring the bell 3 times, which is like to the servants, like, that's bring me food bell.
Dinner, please.
Yes.
Oh,
it's a different pitch than the "I need something" bell. It's like the separate one.
The silver bell.
It actually rings each time it hits. It's a different note. It's like bum bum bum.
During the commotion, when people enter, I feel like I'm going to go over to Grendel and say, "You're onto something. We can talk a little bit more in detail later, but they're not telling us everything."
Grendel kind of looks at him and puts his arm, pats him on the shoulder, says, "That's my boy."
But if he's patting him on the shoulder, it has to be like a single finger.
And with that,
it's not Tinkerbell. He's 3'1", okay?
That tender moment between Grendel and Almond and the servants coming in, addressing food needs, the smell of fresh cooked meat and vegetables wafting throughout the manor. The sun sets on the capital city of Rexentrum, and what remains of the warriors of Sehanine and their now help from our party sleep for the night. And with that, we will end tonight's episode. So, thank you all for being a part of this. That was a very fun session 1 of this module. You guys, I love your characters. This is great. I'm looking forward to this. For everybody who is watching, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate you. And as always, we appreciate your support with everything Pocket Bard. If you're not already, go check out our Discord, talk with us there. Happy to, we have our Discord people in here. Maybe we make a channel where folks can chat about what's going on in the stream, and if you guys have thoughts, you can talk to each other, and we just make that a thing, make that a discussion. So come join us on the Discord. We will see you there. And
Chase,
yeah,
I think you're too modest to do this, so I'm gonna step in a little bit.
Okay.
If that's okay. So
take it away.
I pinned the link tree. Please go find us there. If you don't have Pocket Bard downloaded, it's amazing. It's 14 free fantasy essential scenes.
Yeah.
Free for life, and we promise you those will get worked on over time, so they will get better and better. But also we have our sci-fi package that came out recently, and that's fully on the app. And please look forward to the horror pack that's coming out. We hope at least one by Halloween for spooky season. Our tavern pack is in the works, I believe. But Seafaring is even before that. I just went out of order. I went out of chronological order. And so Leroy is one of our composers. Alex is one of our composers. They're beautiful, beautiful people with beautiful, beautiful music. Chase's sister-in-law is one of the composers. So just give us some love.
Josie.
Shout out to Josie. We know that right now the subscription is just the sci-fi, and not a lot of people are using the sci-fi. But it really does help us to grow Pocket Bard, and it really helps us to be able to put the time and love in to make these scenes amazing. So please consider a subscription for yourself or your DM even. Other than that, just take us away, Chase. That's my pitch.
Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it.
No problem.
I put on some sci-fi music just to show. I use it in fantasy all the time.
It's good.
It's amazing.
Let's lean into that.
And like you said, Seafaring coming very soon. So until next time, thank you all. We will see you around, and good night. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.